Sometimes you just got to stop and breathe. I don't know if you've had those moments or those weeks or those days as a mover and a shaker, a boss player. There are times where you just have to stop and breathe. To me, I'm learning how to do this. And I'm finding that it is actually one of the keys to success, believe it or not. Now, I know that many of us who move things and shape things and create things and produce things and get results, I know that a lot of times we can move at this energy. And when things aren't quite working out the way we need them to that day, we can explode. Right? We can explode on people. We can explode on situations. We can explode in the moment, and what I know to be true for myself is that underneath all of that, it's really good intentions. But it doesn't always show up as a good intention to the other side. So I hope I'm feeding into some of you here today with this. Okay, if you're listening, you're a boss, you're a director of a program, CEO, you're a go getter, you have your own business, and you have times where the people is the people. They make you want to explode. Let me give you some examples of what I mean by this. Through the week, this last week, it must have been my personal test. And I know you have these tests too. But I have had people around me from family members to people that work in my office. They didn't even realize it, but they were testing me. And I think that it's a test sometimes to test our skill as a leader. I once heard someone say, actually, TD Jake said this. Sometimes in my spiritual time and relaxed time, I like to get fed mentally, spiritually. And this was on a conference about leadership. And one of the things he said is that if you're a leader and you're watching right now, he said, one of the barometers to tell if you're ready to expand as a leader, if you're ready to be at a different level as a leader, or if you are at that higher level in leadership, he said one of the biggest tests is when someone makes you mad, or let's just say a challenge comes your way, a new idea needs to happen, something comes your way to cause you to have to come outside of your norm. He said, what's your initial response? So let's just say something needs to change, something needs to be handled, something needs to move in a different direction, or someone has asked you to do something. What's your initial response? And I don't mean what you say to people, but internal, inside. Is your initial response to go, oh, I don't feel like doing that? Or is your initial response to go, nope, not doing it? Or do you have a negative attitude towards change? If that's the case, I would say, and what he was saying was that you need to evaluate yourself. You need to stop and do a review to see if you're able to go to that next level of leadership, or are you at a level of leadership that's your capacity? So I have been tested this whole week, and I'm glad to tell you that I got an A plus 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 plus. I passed. That means I'm ready for that next level of leadership. So a lot of times that next level of leadership does not come with celebration. It does not come with accolades. It usually comes with some upset. Yep, some upset. Let's get upset, but don't explode, people. Okay, let me give you a live example of what happened to me this week. So last week, it was right before the 4th of July and it was pay week. Okay. And it was time to pay all the staff. And the person that I had in charge of that said, hey, you know what? Something went wrong with our system, our payroll system. Okay. And we were using an outside company. And that outside company has constantly, over the last year, been dropping the ball. They've been doing some things, like some stuff that'll really get you upset. Okay. And so what I did is I immediately went in solution because these people need to get paid. They're going into a long weekend. They're going to be around family. I'm always concerned about it. And so my heart is, hey, solution. Let's just write them a check. We'll figure out the taxes on the back end. Well, this person who was in charge of it was, no. The checks might show up, they might get there later. And, I gave my solution to it, and that leader did not take my solution to it. And I said, okay, the checks were supposed to be in priority mail. They were going to be in our P.O. box. Friday came, everybody's leaving for the holidays, and there was no checks there yet. So I said, you know what? Write the people a check, and then we'll figure it out on the back end. But this leader that was over that department, no, if we do that, there's going to be tax issues later and this and that. I said, you know what? I really don't care about the tax issues because that's something that an accountant or CPA can handle on the back end and reconcile it. What's important is that the staff get paid, or at least that you communicate to them. So she had sent the communication down to the next level of department. That department then told everybody. Everybody's okay. We're like, there's an emergency. Let's write checks. Let's do it. So, long story short, people didn't get paid. You feel me boiling? I know if you're a CEO, that my staff come first. Like, there's no way I could be off enjoying 4th of July with my family, having a nice time, knowing that some of the people that work for me could be struggling, could be waiting to get the next pay. It just really unsettles my soul. So in that example, I came back, holidays passed, so I show up and still here we are Tuesday, no checks in the mail. So I go, you know what? These people went all this time. Now I'm boiling. So now I'm in the office now. I'm in the office now. I took over the position. I start calling the payroll companies. I need to know what's going on. I'm the CEO of this. I need to know exactly what's going on. Pull up every last thing that you have on file about me and tell me what's going on with these checks and where are they? Because I need to understand what's happening here. And that was the first level of this stuff boiling up inside of me, right? Meanwhile, I'm calling the head of that department. They're not answering their phone. They're avoiding me. I'm texting them. They avoid the text for one full day. And you know what? I was at my end. I was trying to put this fire out, keep my employees happy at the same time, deal with this person. And the thing that frustrated me the most was the fact that this person was over this department did not have my heart. They did not have my heart. And I think that's the thing that causes me to explode on people. When I work with people, the people that are dragging their feet, they don't move with urgency because it's not their issue. They're not having to deal with it personally. So oh, we'll put it off till tomorrow. We'll do it then. We'll do it without really having my heart. So I had to start self evaluating. You guys, I almost exploded to the point where I was going to come up with a whole new way of doing business with this person. I literally, in that moment, I texted out of anger. I said, I didn't text anything bad. I just said, hey, what's going on with this, and this? We need to talk today. You're not answering your phone. You're not answering your text. We need to talk today. And at that point, I could feel it coming. And I really, if I would have talked to that person in that moment, I would have snapped. I would have snapped. I would have gotten rid of a really great person. I would have renegotiated the way I do anything with them. And this person's very close to me. And this person has really great qualities. But in that moment, I had no more patience for that. You know what I mean? Have you ever had that person around you, or that leader, or that team member that's on your team, and you really wanted to explode and let them have the piece of your mind, but you didn't, or maybe you did? If you're somebody who did, I have bosses around me, personalities around me where they just say, "Hey, I'm not," and they come at you. They'll cuss, they blow it, and then later on have to say sorry. Well, I want to have you for a moment look at your personality as a leader. If you have the capability of exploding on people, if this is the personality you have, I want to challenge you today and tell you to try something different. So let me finish that story for you. This person I'm talking about has really great qualities. They bring a lot of assets to the company, but in that one moment, in that one choice, I wanted to just throw her out, toss her out with that one decision. I was like, "You're out of here. I'm done. Not doing this. Bye." And possibly this would have caused an upset. and the company had put a lot more stress on me. Here's what I did. I stopped after I sent that text. I stopped, I breathed, I said, and I had to come to grips with myself first and had to remind myself, I had to process myself. That's what I call it. I had to go within myself because really and truly I'm the leader. So I had to stop, process myself, and say, hey, what is the real result that I want to get out of this? Could be a lesson learned and it could never happen again. Something great could come out of this, or we can just go head to head and be done with it and move on to something else and cause a whole big eruption and change. Sometimes there's a call for that too. I don't want you to get, misconstrued here. Sometimes bosses we got to explode. But about 90% of the time I know for a fact if you're leading a group of people, a business, a team, you gotta not explode. I want you to write these things down, tuck them away. If you gotta put them on your dashboard in the car, in your office, I want you to stop and breathe. I want you to vent. And when you vent, find someone you can vent to that has nothing to do with the business. So you can cuss, you can get all that stuff out that you know you want to say so that you can pull yourself together and process yourself and then go and address it. I didn't say not address it. I said it's how you address it. You cannot explode and expect change to happen. Well, it's change is going to happen, but it's not going to happen the way you want it to happen. So that was one example this week. I had several, even with my family. We were in an Airbnb full of family over the 4th of July, and everyone had wanted to do it their way and this way. And there were times where I wanted to just even explode on my family, but I didn't do it. I did not do it. I stopped, I breathed, and it turned out to be good. At the end of the 4th of July, everyone went back home, and I got a flood of texts of thank you, I love you, thank you for providing a great environment, thank you for doing everything for us that you do. I felt appreciation. So there's some advantages of not exploding. Because I did not explode over this last week in different instances, I got an A plus 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 plus. So that means that it's time for Tia to take it to the next level in her leadership. I have mastered somewhat the skill of not exploding. I have found the value in not exploding in explosive situations. You get a lot out of it. That's my challenge to you today.